Hi, kids. Okay, so Halloween, 1978. This is released the same year as Dawn of the Dead. Talked about Dawn of the Dead yesterday. Dawn of the Dead follow up to 68's Night of the Living Dead. So 68 to 78 is a notable period, um, mostly for what is happening in studio horror films, because 68 is also the year that Rosemary's Baby is released, and that kind of sets off what major studios are willing to invest their money in to have made. So they have the big hits following Rosemary's Baby. We've got The Exorcist in 73, and then there's The Omen and Carrie in 76. So most of these are supernatural horror. They deal with, except Carrie, pretty well off families, right? The Omen, I think Gregory Peck is a senator. The Exorcist, Reagan's mother, is an actress. So well off families. Um, there's demons or the devil, again, with the exception of Carrie, uh, and they are possessing, or it's dealt with children, right? There's a baby, child, another child of the devil, and then a girl with powers who is in high school. So children. Um, but there is a little more interesting variety of things happening in that time period in international horror. We have Don't Look Now in 73, Suspiria and House, which is crazy, in 77. But the films that are informing Halloween are more the independent, low budget films like Halloween in that time frame. 74, you have Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Black Christmas, which is a very important one. And then you have some Wes Craven films, Last House on the Left, 72, Hills Have Eyes in 77. So that's where horror is leading up to Halloween. So Mustafa Akkad is a film producer. He was producing, prior to Halloween, a film called The Message. That film had a $17 million budget. He teams up with Irwin Yablans. Irwin was just a film distributor at this time, but he wanted to become a producer. Both of them decided that, look at this Exorcist money, which a lot of people are doing. They want to get into horror. There is money in horror. Yablans has an idea for the babysitter murders. So they had seen Assault on Precinct 13, which is John Carpenter's film before this. Very impressed with what Carpenter was able to do with only a $100,000 budget. Approach him, because Mustafa Akkad, if he cannot spend $17 million on a movie and make money, he kind of wants to do that. So they approach Carpenter, eventually give him a $325,000 budget for Halloween, which is a lot more than Assault on Precinct 13, but a lot less than The Message. So Carpenter co-writes Halloween with his then girlfriend, Deborah Hill. Deborah Hill was an editor on Assault on Precinct 13. So for Halloween, they're given the idea of the babysitter murders. There's a lot of different people saying when the title of Halloween came in. Some say that it even comes from Joe Clark, the director of Black Christmas. Black Christmas is important because it is very, very, very influential on Halloween, in the way it's shot. There's a lot of shots in Black Christmas of sort of our killer watching through the windows, watching through the house. There's shots of from across the street, the sorority house that our girls are in. Um, Lots of heavy breathing of the killer, and you don't really ever see the killer. There's shots where you're seeing his hands and things, which are very similar to the opening of Halloween, where we're seeing young Michael attacking his sister. Carpenter works on the overall structure of the film. Deborah Hill is responsible with the dialogue, making our teenage girls feel like authentic teenage girls. Now, why I brought up all the stuff in the beginning about the studio horror, the well-off families, because this one isn't that, right? This is just a guy with a knife coming to your house, which is why it makes an impact in 78, because this is the suburbs. This is anybody's house. This could happen to you. I had a mask. The shape, the boogeyman, the evil. Which similar, so Michael Myers, right, is an escaped insane asylum patient, you could say, which Black Christmas, they don't ever actually explain who exactly the killer is, what's happening, but you can watch the film and be like, yeah, that guy escaped from an insane asylum. So lots of ties between the two films. Carpenter uses a lot of negative space again. So this is the start of a franchise. You're just working with what you have. Yes, you have $325,000, but that's still a lot of money. Limited lighting, limited effects. So you have to work with what you have. They're filming this in California in May, which means it's hard to make it look like October in Haddonfield. They have to get bags of leaves and spread leaves all over the place. Hard to find pumpkins. You got to paint other things to make them look like pumpkins. So this is the start of the franchise. You got Michael Myers. You got 6 kills in this film. I'll be keeping track of them because as the franchise goes, you got to up that kill count. His weapon of choice is a knife, sort of the creeping horror we have here. And then, of course, we have Final Girl, which we've had in some of those other films like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We've got Jamie Lee Curtis, who is partly just cast because she is the daughter of Janet Leigh from Psycho. So Psycho 2, Psycho, Peeping Tom, 1960 are very influential on Black Christmas. So inspiration. We draw the lines. And then, of course, the other connection is we have Sam Loomis, Donald Pleasance. Sam Loomis, also a name from Psycho. So those bigger budget studio films usually have an actor like Gregory Peck to sort of add some gravitas to the film, make it legitimate. This is a real film. Look, Gregory Peck is in this, right? So Atticus Finch himself. They can't afford that, of course, so we get the discount version of that. Donald Pleasance wasn't the first choice, but adds his own level of gravitas and acting ability to this. And then, of course, we're taking place on Halloween. How did we get to 1978 and we haven't had a film like this with murders on Halloween called Halloween, which obviously is again inspired by Black Christmas. Can you guess when Black Christmas takes place? Anyways, I think 10 minutes is enough rambling for me. Uh, thank you for watching if you did. Like, subscribe if you did.